Welcome to this Windows channel, and this is it. The fall update is here. Not for everyone. This is the fall update that I'm going to show you from my insider preview, but this is what it will look on your computer when you get the fall update. Possibly this November 12th, Thursday. So put that on your calendar. It's possible. Now, if you don't have it on Thursday, don't panic. We don't have an official date. Nobody told us an official date. It's what we've been hearing that's possible this Thursday, November 12th. So if you're an insider, you've probably upgraded your insider preview machine to this new build, which is 10.5.8.6. 10.5.8.6 is the fall update. You see it because on the bottom right we had a watermark. We had what was written as the build version every time we updated, and that was removed. That means that this is the fall update, and we're pretty sure this is what's called the Gold Master, which is the official release. The reason why insiders are having it before everybody, of course, it's the same reason why insiders exist, to test it, to make sure that it's right for everybody. Now, if you're wondering how can I go there now, don't go to an insider preview just because you want that version. It is not a good idea. You stick with your Windows build 10.2.40 that everybody has. That is what everybody has right now. And don't worry, through the Windows update, possibly this Thursday, November 12th, or at least in the coming week or two, you will have fall update appear in your updates. And of course, I'll be talking about it. I'll be letting you know when it appears, and you'll install that and you'll be pushed to this. Now, you'll know that you're there if you go and in the Cortana search type WinVer for Windows version. You will have this little window that's going to say you're at version 15.11, OS build 10.5.86. Version 15.11 means you are in the November 2015 update. 11 for the month, 15 for the year. That is how we'll have versions. So we expect even Redstone in June will give us something like 0616 or 1606 for June 2016, and of course it will have its own build version. That's what's going to appear on your computer. That's what's going to happen in your computer. It's interesting to see that it's going to say here copyright 2016 Microsoft instead of 2015. I've updated, worked fine, did not have any glitches, any problems on the insider preview. Of course, it's different because this is on the insider preview. We basically install a real new version of Windows, while everybody on 10.2.40 will be installing an update that's called fall update, which is going to be a little different. What's new and interesting in this version? First of all, activation is different. Your Windows activation will now be in a new way. Since the release in July 29th, what happened is that if you wanted to go from Windows 7 to or in Windows 8.1 to Windows 10, what you had to do is upgrade your machine. And when you upgraded your machine, then you had activation, and when it was activated, you could clean install, do whatever you want, because it knew that your computer was okay to receive that update. Now, when the fall update will release, we will have new tools also released. You'll have a new download tool from Microsoft for Windows, and you will have a new image file. All of that will be updated also, meaning that you'll have, if you want, an image file of the fall update directly, meaning that if you want to upgrade or clean install, that will be the latest version, which is really nice. But that will also bring an interesting new feature. Device activation will be different. You will not have to upgrade if you want to go to Windows 10 anymore. You will be able to use that image and clean install Windows from scratch, and when it asks for a product key, you'll be able to enter any valid Windows 7, Windows 8.1 product key in that product key box. What it's going to do, it's going to verify that that key is valid. And once that validation is right, it's going to continue the install and it's going to activate your Windows 10. So that is really something new and interesting. It's the first time that Microsoft actually does that, using previous keys to activate Windows. And of course, same thing, once you are activated with Windows 10, don't search for a product key. You don't need one. Okay, because it's going to do what you see here. Windows 10 on this device is activated with a digital entitlement. That's the new way of activation. Searching for your product key in Windows 10 is completely useless. You're just losing time for nothing. Once your machine is upgraded, it knows that that machine is a valid Windows 10 computer, and it activates every time without having any product key. New features is the background picture on the sign-in screen. You had a picture in Windows 10. Well, now you'll be able to just put a specific background color. You'll be able to remove in the sign-in screen that picture screen. You'll be able to really just have a solid color in that screen, which is really nice. You have updated color scheme. So you see that my little windows of everything open, my Chem Studio has a brown bar at the top, if you've noticed. If I click on File Explorer, you'll see it has a brown. Now the reason why it's brown is because it adapts to the background picture of my computer. So if I use another type of picture, it will of course change the color of that bar. It's an automatic, but you can also change it with your favorite colors yourself. So the reason why it's brown is because my desktop background, you see that the colors in the tree leaves are brownish yellow, so it tries to adapt. It doesn't work all the time very well to adapt, but at least it has more colors, and even the start menu adapts to these colors. What you also have is new icons. For example, if you go see the control panel, you'll see that updated icons for the control panel, which is interesting. There are different, for example, if you go to the regedit, you'll see that regedit. You see that registry editor as a new type of icon. They've redone the icons of the different things, so it's kind of nice. Added a little more color, a little more interest, because people found that it was a little drab. Maybe still a little bit of work to do here, but it is much better. Updated icons of desktop documents, downloads, and so on. What is also interesting is the context menus are now much more consistent. So when you click a tile or right click something, you have much more information on each. So here you got the share, the rate and review, stuff like that. You have resize. The colors also have been changed. There's more details also in the context menu. So for example, resize, before you had small, medium, wide, large, you didn't have an idea what it looked like until you clicked on it. Now it gives you a little bit of idea of what it might look like actually to do so. So this is really interesting, and pretty much everywhere the menus have been rearranged. Even the font of these menus have been changed. So it is really interesting to see how they've improved this. Also, you see that it has the new dark theme in many of the menus. Lots more information, lots more things that you can do, and probably easier also to see and to search for what you want using these contextual menus, which is really really interesting. Start menu improvements, of course, have been there. One of the things that happened to the start menu was limited to 512 items, and that included the tiles you see here and all the tiles of all the programs. And you can imagine 512 tiles is not that much for everything. Now that limit has been upped to 2048 items in the start menu, so that's interesting. Of course, all the context menus and the start are also been updated a lot, so there's a lot of stuff that is better and better to view. Tablet mode has improved, so a lot of the features of the tablet mode now are much better, including a taskbar now at the bottom. Before tablet mode, remove the taskbar. Some of the buttons that are on the screen now, like the shutdown button and stuff like that, all the apps and programs, all the way that everything happens, and also the transparency, which is very nice. Adding that feature makes things look a little more interesting. A lot of people have been mentioning that you'd like to have tiles that have also some transparency. I think that could be nice also. They're maybe a little too much when they're like full blocks like this. Much more improved also on the way that you have your touch capabilities on your touch screen, even for snapping apps together. Also on the way to get your different apps by swiping on the right or the left and stuff like that. Lots of interesting things. If you have a SD card on a tablet, for example, what's really interesting and new is that now you'll be able, if we go and see apps, for example, apps, and we look at what's installed. So let's check for installed apps, apps and features. When you look at the different apps that you have on your computer, now you'll be able to click an app that you might have installed and use that app on another device. So you'll be able to move an app. You see here the move is grayed out for me because I don't have a SD card on this computer. But if you have an SD card in a tablet, you will see that now you will have the possibility to move apps to an SD card. So if you don't have a lot of space on your main drive, a lot of cheap Windows tablets have only 16 or 32 gigabytes of internal storage. So by moving apps to an SD card, that's really going to help make a lot more space on your device, which is very nice. What else do we have? Of course, a new messaging app called Skype Messenger, or Skype Video, sorry. Skype messaging or video is an included app inside your computer now that is basically a little bit like FaceTime. If you've used FaceTime on an iOS device, your iPhone, an iPad, you now have the possibility to enter this Skype video app in between. So here you see my face, so you'll have the possibility to just invite people via email. You don't have to have a Skype account necessarily, so this is really interesting for that. So it's a new way of actually connecting people together. As for Microsoft Edge, of course, what is probably the most sad thing about Microsoft Edge is the fact that you don't have any more, you still don't have the add-ons. A lot of people were waiting for add-ons to Edge, to move on to Edge browser. Fortunately, it's not there yet. Apparently, it's pushed to Redstone in June of 2016. But there are still quite a few improvements in the Microsoft Edge, including, for example, tab preview. Now, when you have many tabs open, you'll be able to just put your little mouse pointer over a tab and you see a miniature, a preview of what is open in that tab, which is very nice. Sync every favorites and everything you put in your reading list now are synced between your machines through Edge, meaning that if you have 200 favorites that you've added to your Microsoft Edge browser, they're going to sync automatically to every Windows 10 device that you have using your Microsoft account with Microsoft Edge. So that is a nice feature. That was something that I was waiting for because I really enjoy that feature in Chrome, for example. And to have it now with this Edge browser will probably help me make more usage of the Edge browser. Another really cool thing, if you've got a Miracast device or a DLNA device, compatible TV or smart TV, for example, now you have the possibility when you're looking at a video to go on the upper right in the three little dots, click there, and just say cast media to device, and it's gonna search for a device that's compatible to send that video. So this is really a cool feature of Microsoft Edge here, to be able to send any video. The only place where it's not going to work is basically if you have protected content like Netflix, for example. That won't work because it has protected. It is basically protected content. So nice of little details here. Of course, you have a few internal stuff. Edge picks up real-time video and video communication, audio video via technology called Object RTC. As for Cortana, a number of improvements in Cortana. Cortana now is able to help you a lot more with what you do. Basically, if you are receiving emails about concerts, about things that you need to do or you have in your calendar, it now reminds you of these events before. So that's an interesting thing about Cortana. It is much more open to what's happening in your environment. Another real cool thing, Cortana now can be set for reminders. So you can use Cortana and say, can you remind me of an event at 3 p.m.? So here you see it has this event, and yes, here goes. At 3 p.m. I have a reminders list, but about just before 3 p.m. I'll have a little alarm that's going to say, hey, you've got something at 3 p.m. You can now add notes. So for example, I say, Cortana, take a note. Make a new video tomorrow. And here goes. Now I have make a new video. Well, it's not exactly that, but it's in OneNote, so it adds notes to OneNote automatically. It also has much more information about what's happening in your Edge browser or in PDF documents. You can select text and right-click and ask Cortana to search a topic for you, for example, in a text. So stuff like that is really interesting. So really cool. Windows 10 can now run Hyper-V instances inside Hyper-V, a feature that's called nested virtualization. So that's for people that know a lot more about Windows 10 in general. Memory Manager has improved more, so your memory is used in a much more needed way, because it had to really improve this to really make Windows 10 as fast as possible. And so when you look at, for example, let's go into the Task Manager, at the amount of memory used, you see here I have 49% memory used. That is the new way of actually things working. What will happen now is that, first of all, as much stuff as possible will be sent to memory, which is a good thing. A lot of people think, oh, I have too much memory used, it's a bad thing. No, it's a good thing. You want to have as much RAM used as possible. That's what makes your computer fast. If you don't use a lot of RAM, what's going to happen is that it means you're using a lot your hard drive, which is much slower. So it's not a good thing to want to use only 10% of the RAM. There's also a way that Windows 10 now caches what's happening in memory. It compresses a lot of what's happening in memory. So if you're using something that's not used a lot, it will compress it, so it takes a lot less memory to give memory for other apps, which is very interesting. And this reduces the amount of memory used per process, allowing Windows 10 to maintain more applications in physical memory at a time, so really to make things faster. Everybody will now get the Windows Feedback app. That was mostly for insiders before. Now this will be included on all Windows 10 computers, so this will allow users, not just insiders, to take advantage of all the feedbacks. Microsoft will of course use that thing, and as you see here, lots of feedback about all sorts of things, lots of OneDrive comments here. And on the left side you got categories, so this will be available to everybody, and you can add new feedback and ask stuff. And Microsoft does look at this feedback. They've made many changes to Windows thanks to this feedback, that's for sure. So text input panel will now expand as you write, no longer opens automatically when you're not in a tablet mode, stuff like that. New control panel icons that I've shown you. Default printer improvements. Now when you use a certain printer a certain amount of times, it's actually going to change it to the default printer, because it's going to say, well, you use that printer more than the other one, so this should be your default printer. You won't have to go and do it manually. So this is interesting. So a lot of little details like that in your new Windows 10, of course, operating system with the fall update. Hope you enjoyed this little tour of everything, or a lot of the features. I'm sure I've not shown everything. There probably are some more that will be there, and I might even make another video to show even more of the details. I'll also be checking Cortana a lot more and trying to show you how to add Cortana. And by the way, Cortana with the fall update apparently is available in Canada and Australia, so that should be something new. And we know by the end of the year a number of countries will also have it, including French Canada. Works fine, it's great. This is pretty much what you'll have when the fall update comes through. And so let's hope that it's probably this Thursday, November 12th. And hope you enjoyed my look and review of the fall update for Windows 10. Of course, follow us, because I will be telling you when exactly the fall update is arriving and installing on every computer. And of course, we'll continue to help everyone and try to do our best to make videos. We'll be taking a look also at the new apps, because a lot of the apps in the fall update have been improved. Groove Music, the picture app, the photo app, lots of apps have been improved. And so this is a very interesting thing to look at and make a tour, so I will be checking that out also. So lots of little videos coming up about all sorts of new features and things in Windows 10 with the fall update. And for those that wonder, well, is this the official finished version of Windows 10? No, that doesn't exist anymore. Windows as a service is Windows 10 being updated all the time. Next big update will be Redstone in June of 2016. And of course, insiders will start getting new builds eventually. Usually there's a little pause, but I would probably suspect that we'll have some kind of new builds maybe before Christmas or something like that. So hope you enjoyed my video. If you enjoy, please subscribe. You'll be informed when new videos are online. If you like our videos, give us thumbs up. Helps us on the ratings on YouTube. And thank you so much for following us. Don't hesitate. If you have your own observations of the fall update, let us know.